gorilla stomping in a zoo. Check the vocals, animals gather right.
Hey everybody, and welcome back for another video. So as you've seen, we have the new raised garden bed set up, ready to go. We also got the trellising done. So next step in the line is to plant something. So today we went to our local farm, we picked up some new plants, and we're going to get those planted. So the only thing we're missing is mulch right now as well. The farm never had any mulch left, so I'll have to go to a local home supply store, whether it's Home Depot or Kent or Canadian Tire, and we'll get some mulch to be able to put on top of the vegetables as well. So with all that said, we'll get down, I'll show you what plants we ended up buying today, and then we'll head up to the raised garden bed and get those situated. Alright, so first on the list, these were a couple of freebies given to us by the employees because the kids were being so cute, I guess. So for all you guys and gals out there, one benefit of having kids, free plants. Alright, so we got two of those. So we'll probably put those in the corner of the bed or something, let them hang over the side and spice things up a bit. Next on the list, they're probably in a little bit of rough shape, I don't know, they're looking a little dry, but these are sugar snap peas. Alright, so we'll put those up on the trellis and we'll see if they take root and start up. The soil's really dry, so this is all end of season stock here now, so we're just going to be lucky if any of this really takes. But we do have some nice looking plants. We got some truss tomatoes. So this is, I believe, a determinate type, and this gives you the typical beefsteak tomatoes. We got a tray of 4 broccoli. And we got a Hungarian hot pepper. So I don't know if this is the yellow, red, or a mix of both. We shall see. And you can't get peppers without getting a jalapeno or jalapeno. And the last two are just 2 more tomato plants. So the tomato plants need to be trimmed up a little bit. Some pruning needed for sure. And we'll do all that as we go as well. Alright, so before we head up to the raised garden bed, I'll just show you pruning up these tomato plants so they're done and ready to go, and then we'll head up there. Alright, so what I've done here now, I've taken our gardening cart, our wheelbarrow cart, and put some plywood across that to make a makeshift table to do our pruning. Alright, so before planting, especially tomatoes as well as peppers, we're going to be pruning the peppers. But you definitely want to give the plant as much of a chance at starting in the soil as possible. So that includes removing any unnecessary limbs down below, and so it can put all its energy into root development and growth. As well, especially with tomato plants, you got when the leaves and everything are hanging too close to the ground, they can pick up soil-borne diseases such as blight. And so you want to be trimming these up, keep a nice growth on top until you get to the 12 to 18 inch mark, and then you can just kind of let it blossom out. Especially with these determinants, now this is going to grow like a bush more than a vine, okay? But you should still be able to get some decent height to keep the leaves up off the ground. At that point in time, you let your suckers and everything go wild. But for now, for planting, we're going to be planting this soil up nice and high, so we're going to be taking some lower leaves off so that there can be extra root development as well as that energy into getting started. So to begin our pruning session, I'm going to start with this tomato plant. Again, the sign at the farm said these are trussed tomatoes, and I just briefly looked that up and it said beefsteak tomato, which is going to be your determinant variety. So first thing you do, have a good look at your plant. Know your goals, what you're aiming for with the plant, okay? So we're looking to start the plant. We want to put all energy up into this area, the growth part, okay? You know, anything probably down around this area, we're going to be overburying anyways. So you want to take off any kind of branches where new roots could actually come out and replace those branches. So it may look a little drastic, depending on what your mindset was before starting, but it's going to look like we're chopping too much off, but we're not. Alright, so normally you would say, okay, we'll take off the two bottoms, and you'd call it done. But when we bury this, we're going at least probably 2 inches up this stalk of growth where it is now. So then this branch would be right along the floor, the soil, and be prone to getting disease. So we're going to take that one as well. Leave a little nub at the end just to give it something to seal off without affecting the main stem. And then we have another branch here that's kind of curling down towards the ground. Okay, that could also cause problems with disease. So what do you think? Do you think we're going to take this one off? It's a pretty luscious looking branch, but the answer to that is yes, we are taking it off. Alright, so you're kind of left with a little bit of a scarier version than what you think you bought, but in terms of getting this started, that's what you got to do. Alright, this is going to give the plant its best chance of survival. A couple of little leaves down below here, just pinch those off, and a couple of dead ones in the soil. So there you are. That is how to prune your tomato plants for planting and give it its best chance at survival. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good example. So with that done, we'll move on to the next one. This is pretty quick to see where you gotta prune. Alright, and probably one more, like so. Alright, so we'll probably leave this middle one, at least it's on an upward shape. It should hopefully keep the leaves off of the ground, so that's acceptable to keep. And then the final tomato plant, a couple of brown leaves, we'll pull them off. This one is pretty good, but there is a lot of greenery to try and survive for a fresh planting, so I'll take off that bottom one. Okay, so that's where that one will start. A couple leaves down below to pinch off. So that's our tomatoes pruned and ready. Next are the peppers. When it comes to the peppers, you're looking at the same thing, okay? You got to direct all the energy into growth and root development. So all these brand new leaves down here are going to be sopping up energy. We'll take those off. Alright, probably this one right here. Pick that one out. And so what you're kind of looking to do is have a good crown at the top of your peppers. So this one could probably actually go here as well. There we are. So that leaves you a good crown at the top of the pepper. Alright, and then the final pepper, we'll repeat that. And there we are. That one's pretty much ready to go. take one more off here. Alright, so it looks like probably some aggressive pruning you would think, but this is going to give your plants the best chance at starting in new soil following transplanting. And this is almost universal for most plants and starts. Alright, so with those all pruned up, we'll load up the garden wagon here and we'll head up to the new raised garden bed and get these put in the soil, fertilized, watered, all that good stuff. So we'll see you up there. Alright, so here we are at the raised garden bed. Gonna start digging some holes, get the tomatoes in first. Now you notice we got the trellis in now. It's gonna make it a little bit harder to reach that back area closest to the side there, but we'll manage just fine. Now even though these tomato plants are determinates, I'm still gonna plant them next to the trellis as if they were indeterminates, okay? Just so that if the fruit does become really heavy, we can help support the plant and keep it from falling over. So remember, nice deep hole, and you still want a couple of inches above the ground level of what the farm or the people that made the starts to have it already grown at, okay? So we'll start off nice deep hole and get 3 of those buried in along the trellis. Alright, so I'm going to take my tomato plant, support the stem with 2 fingers. Now we got a lot of roots on the bottom which will probably keep it from coming out of the cup easily. But we'll see how we do. Lost a little root, not bad. So we're going to take the root ball and we're going to measure the hole now. We want to probably bury it up even that far right there. So we're going to get the hole dug at the proper depth first. Like I say, we're using the tomato to measure the hole. So right about there should be the right height. So with the hole, we're going to add in some bone meal. Like so. Actually, we do have a bit of liquid fertilizer here as well, mixed up in the watering can. So we'll put some of that in the hole as well. Alright, so then we'll take our root ball, place it in the bottom of the hole, hold the stem firmly, You get this top stem, if you want to align it vertically before you refill, you just hold it like so, and then you start backfilling. Put a little bit of pressure to set the roots and set the soil. And there you have it. All the leaves are off the ground. We've gone up pretty significantly on the stock to encourage more root development. And it's fertilized down deep in the hole. We'll do some more surface fertilizing as well once everything's in the ground. But there you have it. That's how we're going to plant our tomatoes. So we'll do 2 more of those, and then we'll continue on with the next crop. So this is just going to be rinse and repeat. So we'll test our depth. A little bit deeper. That should be good there. Just a little bit of backfill. Alright, so same deal. Support the stem. Get your root ball. Bone meal in the hole. Little spritz of fertilizer. And then we'll go ahead and get the root ball set. Alright, let's fill it in. Don't hit the plant. There we go, that one's good.
Next one.
So this one's in the middle of the bed and the trellising is in the way. So I'm going to do a little bit of fancy arm work here. I'm going to put the plant outside of the trellis and then I'll dig from the side of the bed here. Alright, so we'll get some bone meal in there. There we are, and we'll get some fertilizer sprinkled in. Get our root ball. Just set in nicely.
Can I help you, Dad?
That's okay, sweetheart. You almost got it finished there now.
Okay. You know what I'm doing. You know what I'm doing.
What's that, honey? Yeah. Good. And there we are. That's the last tomato planted, and we'll move on. So next on the list, we're going to get the sugar snap peas planted. I'm going to do all 6 plants along the side of the trellis here on this side. So this is pretty straightforward, same kind of thing. No pruning required, just get the root balls put in the ground, spaced relatively evenly, and alongside the trellis. So I'll just go ahead and do that there now. Alright, so all the peas are planted. Just attaching a bit of twine now to attach them to the trellis until they've gripped on enough to proceed on their own. Just like so. Alright, so that'll help keep it stable and protected, and also mostly away from the tomato plant as well. So that's the peas done. Alright, so next up on the list is going to be 6 broccoli. I think in the intro I mentioned 4, but we actually have 6 broccoli. So we're just going to go right up the middle row with that. So let's start digging some holes. Alright, so the sugar snap peas are planted, the tomatoes are planted, and now the broccoli is in. So we have our 2 pepper plants, a jalapeno and the other one, either the red and yellow Hungarian hot. Alright, so we'll plant these, you know, give them lots of room. So we'll probably do it at, say, 2 and 6 or 3 and 6 marks, 3-foot and 6-foot marks down the bed. Maybe even 2.5. Alright, so we'll just space that out, kind of eyeball it, and then we'll get the corner flowers in. Alright, let's do that. Alright, so now that everything is planted, we're just going to go around, give everything an extra coating of fertilizer. We're kind of at that point now of growth that we can re-fertilize the first bed and fertilize this second bed. And we'll do that with the dissolvable fertilizer. And yeah, and then we'll get everything a good dose of water. So let's do that now. Alright, so that's going to clue up today's video. The raised garden bed number 2 is planted, fertilized, watered. So now we wait and see. I got to get a bit of mulch put onto the bed. That'll be something I can do off camera. It's not a big deal. You've seen me mulch before. But yeah, plants are in there. Let's cross our fingers. Let's hope we grow some green thumbs. And until next time, I hope you're happy. Hope you're healthy. Take care of each other.
And peace out.